Okay, you guys, so this is from my mom. I wrote a story and my mom couldn't hear it very well at times because the music was too loud. So I got to thinking about it, and for now I'm going to put it on as unlisted because this is going to be for ones that request wanting to hear the story again where they can hear it more clearly. So I'm making this and I'm hoping my mom shares it with everyone and for friends that she wants to hear this. So I'm redoing this for my mom, so I'm dedicating this video to my mother, and because I'm redoing it for her. So I hope you enjoy this. So the story is called, once again, Hold On to Your Hope. And these are some pictures that I've taken over time. There's one picture in here of a tiger with her cubs that actually was taken by a friend, and I stole it from her because I seen the cubs when they were much smaller at the St. Louis Zoo. That mom actually had 5 cubs, which is very rare in captivity. Here we go. Hold On to Your Hope. The sunset was unusually pretty that night. She was looking out as at the ocean waves was hitting the beach. She smiled as she thought about how different life was now. Everything was so calm, serene, and peaceful. No stress like it used to be. Nothing like what it was in the old world. Times was at times so stressful. She thinks back to the day she was 19 and was on a girls' trip with her closest friend and got the news that her dad had passed. She had no job to help her mom with the bills. They were tight soon. A lot of things were tight until her dad's retirement kicked in. She and her mom lived on cheap food and barely scraped by, but still found time to entertain friends and help ones in need. She had a young suitor looking for her attention, but she turned him down. As time passed, they ended up marrying. Their marriage at times, just like life, was like a roller coaster ride, but they always came out on top, thanks to their strong faith. As time went on, things and stresses increased. Wars, violence, immorality, things she remembered reading about in a book that once felt was old and out of date. But it wasn't. She loved that book. She'd seen the things in it being fulfilled all around her that she read in it. Then, how can a book that fulfills prophecy still in her time be out of date? Things started getting really rough. There was a pandemic that came, and things were out. Food, and sometimes foods and different staples was not even able to be bought. She sighed and remembered how much her and her husband struggled, both working full-time, sometimes very stressful at their jobs, but they kept going to make ends meet. She had hope for a future so real she could taste it, where no longer would they struggle, but now things would get worse before they got better. Both her and her husband had lost parents, but held out hope to one day be reunited with them. She knew it was going to get rougher, but she had faith and hope in the things unseen. One day, all of a sudden, the world stopped. It just happened all overnight. They said they got everything under control. Finally, all governments were at peace with one another. No more fighting. They were in agreement, but just one thing they asked to be stopped. No more practicing your faith. No religion. Then everyone would be at peace at heart. She looked at her husband. What? Wait. Is this for real? Is this it? Is this really happening? They both smiled at each other, nervous because they knew what this really means. Are we ready for the final test? It's here. Will we be strong enough to stand our ground? They said to one another. They grabbed each other's hands and prayed. At first, it was peaceful. Nothing bad was happening. But within a few weeks, again, overnight, it turned her upside down. That's when they found out that there was an untold number of people that did not renounce their faith, and they began one by one hunting them down. She thought, it's still so clear when me and my husband were dragged into the street with others like them holding fast to their faith. They were put in the middle. This is it, she said to her husband. Remember, even if they should kill all of us right now, because we won't give up, he will bring us back again. Then the group united made them more mad because they began to sing, courage, give us courage, help us always see there are more with us than against us, courageous let me be. As they Guns began to fire. She looked at her husband in disbelief. The bullets didn't touch them, not one of them, and they sang louder. They tried everything, guns, throwing torches, grenades. Nothing was touching them. They grew afraid. It was at that moment everyone's eyes was opened. You could see them, hundreds of them, forming a barrier around them. Men in white. Wait! They're not men. They're angels. In that instant, one by one, they fell and perished until all over the world they were gone. The untold number stood strong, left unharmed. Is this real? Could this be the end of Armageddon? Everyone turned to each other, crying, smiling, hugging, singing praises. We did it. We made it, she said to her husband. As she watched the stars come out over the ocean, she heard a familiar laugh and a voice, and it was a familiar whistle behind her. It was her husband and her dad joining her. How was your day? She asked the guys. Her husband replied, always wonderful, never a bad day. Just one more was resurrected today, and your dad and I almost got the Moore family's house finished just in time for them to welcome back their 8-year-old daughter who died of cancer. Dad, she asked, how is Kevin doing? Well, her dad replied, since you've been busy cooking for everyone all day and taking care of newly resurrected ones and walking with Princess and her cubs, and Kevin, that was keeping her company, was keeping Kevin company. Princess is a black panther that she was fond of. Her and her cubs visited every morning. She smiled. Good, I'm glad. Maybe Princess would like sleeping on our rug by the bed again tonight. Suddenly, they heard a whale call in the distance. She looked at her dad, who loved animals and swimming as much as she did. Looks like Sparky is here to say hi. Sparky is a killer whale, or an okra. What do you say, Dad? Should we go for a swim? She's always dreamed of being able to go swimming with killer whales every day. Now she can. I missed you so much, Dad. I'm so glad you've been resurrected. Let's go, he said. I'll race you over to Sparky. Ha ha. You know I'm determined to win this time, as she smiled at him. They went the next morning. She rose early to watch the sunrise, and there was Princess and her cubs, and her beautiful cubs, there to greet her as they do every morning. As she walked with Princess and her cubs, she was greeted by Rose, who, till after Armageddon, was wheelchair-bound. Hello, Rose. Want to help with breakfast? I hear we are welcoming back some resurrected ones today. Rose, with a smile. You know I always enjoy our mornings together. And let's make something special as they get back into the house. Rose's husband greets them. He was deaf till after Armageddon, and now he hears perfectly. Some started showing up as they sat the food out, and others like them, holding fast to their arrived, everyone, with baskets of food. And there comes John, who was blind in the old world, and his wife, Marie, who was paralyzed by a stroke. Now both of them in perfect health. All of a sudden, her husband and father-in-law, sister-in-law, dad, and her mom come running up, super excited. They are started talking. I wonder who's next. Maybe today we see my mother-in-law again, who died from a weak heart and cancer. Her and her husband both stayed by her side till she took her last breath. They waited excitedly to see who it was. All of a sudden, they caught sight of her. No way, this can't be, but it was. It was her. Finally, so many friends, family has been welcomed back. But finally, her husband was going to spend time catching up with his mom. They ran and couldn't get to her fast enough, tears of joy filling their eyes as they once again got to hug her and talk to her. That day, as the day went on, she stayed busy taking care of animals that came by and fixing meals, as well as helping young ones who had been resurrected but did not have parents, as she rubbed her stomach because she, for her first time ever, was expecting a child. In the old world, she wasn't able to get pregnant, but now she's able to. But this time, it was so different because finally her husband's parents were all here and back. Her brother and sister surely made it to the other side of the world by now, making and meeting all kinds of friends. After all, it was true, genuine peace now, nothing holding anyone back. Peaceful, friendly, everyone, everywhere you go, is kind and hospitable. As she looked around, she smiled. African, Asian, Spanish, Arabian, Pakistan, Indian, German, Russian, French, all of them laughing, hugging, dancing together, and sharing food. This is finally it, the real life that she and her husband have been fighting for and waiting for so long. It's such a joy to get up looking in her early 20s, full of energy and health, with a smile, ready and joyful, looking forward to what each day would bring, knowing it would bring nothing but peace and happiness. Just remember, it is promised one day this will be real. Now you understand a little more about me and my beliefs and why I try so hard to stick into doing things correctly, because these are things I'm looking forward to. Aren't you? Do you have somebody lost in death that you want to see again? Do you want to be there? I'm turning this into a two-parter for my mom, so hang on with me right here. We're going to do it one more time, and this time I'm going to read the poem that I wrote. And this is special. Like I said, this is just mainly for my mom, but I want her to share it with anybody she wants to, because this is for her, special for her. Okay, so my other thing was I wrote a poem called Imagine. I'm kind of hoping that the story in the poem helps you relax and maybe helps you get a good night's sleep. So here we go. Imagine a world of peace. Imagine waking up 100 years of age with no wrinkles and looking like you're in your 20s. Imagine everyone you see is kind, loving, and compassionate, and respectful. Imagine a world where you can approach lions, bears, cubs without any fear of harm. Imagine every morning waking up to the most beautiful sunsets and sitting on your porch looking at every star in the sky, no city lights distracting you, distorting them. Imagine not having to lock your doors because there is no crime, no wars, no one to harm you. Imagine a world with no COVID pandemics, no pain from autoimmune diseases. Imagine a world where no one is blind, no one needs wheelchairs, no cancer, everyone has perfect health. Imagine a world without racism. Everyone is treated within the same, no class distinctions, no one hungry, no one homeless, abundant food, and buildings to live in. Imagine never losing someone you love and care about to death. Imagine instead of hospitals or morgues, there is buildings called resurrection homes. Imagine someone you love and lost in death walking to meet you and knowing they're never going to leave you again. Imagine this is not just an inspiring poem, but this is reality. There you go. If you enjoyed this poem, you enjoyed my story, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Have a wonderful day, everyone. If you want to know more info, go to jw.org. Or just find out more. You can always write me if you really want to know more about my beliefs. But this is why I need to stick close to my faith, because these things are so important to me. I hope this helps you relax, and I hope you get a good night's sleep, everyone. Thank you for listening. And Mom, I hope you really appreciated that I did this again for you so you could hear it better. Love you. Alright, you guys, I dedicated this to my mom. Mom is getting older. I don't know how much longer I'll have her around, but she had one request. She wishes she could have heard my story better. So I hope it helps you relax and helps you get a good night's rest and helps you have peaceful thoughts. Now you understand my beliefs a little better, and if you go and read some of the prophecies, maybe now you won't be so scared of them, because you'll realize there's some wonderful, wonderful things that goes past the scary parts that we have to look forward to. So what do you need to do? Hold on to your hope. Hold on to your faith. And don't let anybody or anything pull you away from it. Have a wonderful evening. And whatever you do, keep moving, keep eating healthy, and don't ever give up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like this, and share it with anyone who needs help with anxiety, something to relax them, something to give them hope, and to encourage them and inspire them. Have a great night, everyone.